So I'd like you to maybe let the audience know who you are and what you do for Wildlife SOS.
Hi, I am Baiju Raj. I'm the Director Conservation Project for Wildlife SOS, and I am working since 2004 with Wildlife SOS. Like now it is almost 16 years. So I started working with bears, and moved on to elephants and all the animals I take care, and I manage the center. So I'm happy that this is not mostly work, it's mostly being with them. So, and some change which we can do. So I also am a member of IUCN Crocodile Specialist Group, and I'm working as an authorized inspector for captive elephants with the Government of India, Animal Welfare Board of India, and there's some voluntary post in Wildlife Crime Control Bureau of India.
Okay. What made you come to Wildlife SOS?
My father was a herpetologist. Since at the age of 2.5 years, I'm working with animals. I handle snakes since then. So I love, that is my passion. I started working with animals when I was born, and I had a chance, not like everyone, but I had a chance to work with them since my very, very young age.
Excellent. So while we're doing this, I just want to say to everyone that we have a very, very couple of exuberant elephants out here. They are part of a group of 24 elephants that have been rescued by Wildlife SOS, and we'll make sure we show you a little bit of that clip. But if you're hearing some of that background noise, that is some very, very happy elephants that have been rescued here. You do a lot of work in rescuing animals here, not just the elephants, but the bears.
Bears, snakes, hyenas, leopards, all sort of animals. Any animal in distress, we get a rescue call, we send our team, we rescue them, and if it is a good condition or fit animal, we release them as soon as possible to their near natural habitat or wherever they belong.
What keeps you going? How do you stay positive in an environment where you see so much abuse, especially from the animals that you have rescued? How do you stay positive, and what would you say to the people what they should do to remain optimistic about the plight of wildlife?
See, if you talk about abuse has been from centuries and centuries. We are now aware of the thing. It is better than we are aware. We are aware of the fact, because technology played a very big role in that. WhatsApp, Facebook, all these medias, platforms, they started sharing. So we are becoming more and more awareness towards this. So we have to be positive that okay, one animal is in suffering or somebody is abusing an animal. We are knowing that. Before we never knew that. So it is not like that we should not be positive. We should be positive that we can help that. If we come to know of somebody share on some media, WhatsApp, a social group or some group, we can at least respond to that. That is the positivity. It is not like that you cannot give up. Because when you talk about many years ago, when I as a kid, I also used to go to temple and see elephants. Because I was not aware what is happening behind them. But now we are aware of the fact. So thousands and thousands of people don't know what animals go through. So once you have a good awareness thing, you have to be positive. You cannot just give up. You have to fight till at least speak to them.
And what does Wildlife SOS do to help educate the public on the plight of, in this case, the plight of the captive elephants and also the bears?
Yeah, many people ask me the same question: why don't you release the bears to the wild, or why don't you release these animals? See, these are the animals which cannot be released to the wild. So we bring a lot of school kids, college kids, and many institutions. We do a lot of awareness programs. We talk to them. We go to schools and give lectures. We also educate a lot of professionals like Indian Forest Service people come here to see the exact management, the veterinary officers, the biologists, all these people come here. So this is like a sample or sample size like what they had undergone. So without studying this, you cannot do some conservation, because you should know what an elephant goes through, then only you can protect it. Like I remember always Dian Fossey, Dr. Diana Fossey.
Yeah,
Her
mountain
words.
gorillas.
Yes, her words are there. You cannot protect a species unless and until you cannot research a species unless and until you put the hard work to protect them. So when you start protecting, when you start working with them, you will come to know and you can explain. Okay, this is the problem with the nail. This is the issue. So you have to make aware people that these are the problems a bear have. So when a person come here, oh, why are you keeping the animal in the captivity? So if an animal, this animal, if this elephant cannot be gone to forest, she have to live in a good place. And food, shelter, these are the main thing. If you give them food, they will be happy. And if you give them shelter, you can just take a look around that not even one elephant is nodding the head. They are not in a stress or a stereotypic behavior. That is what make us happy. If you just have a look, you can see many places elephant will be bobbing head, nodding head, and it will be stereotypic. You can see not one of the elephant is not doing that. So that is what our aim is, that they should be happy here.
So one of the questions that I get asked all the time is, I want to travel to, let's say, India, and I want to either volunteer at a sanctuary, or I want to go visit a sanctuary, but I want to make sure it's an ethical place. And sometimes it's very, very hard to know how to determine that. What would you tell them to do? What kind of research or what kind of information should they be asking to know that this is a valid and an ethical place that they can visit?
First of all, we should know that whether the animals have been using for any show, which I will not agree at all. I did. They are the way they are. You go them, see them, we explain to them these are what they are come from. So you should ask some questions, whether what is the thing taking place in the center, whether some elephant rides is there, elephant show is there, you do something with the elephant. So first of all, you can understand that the vibe you will get. Okay, this center is going to do for me one jumbo show. That itself, it is not easy to make an animal do something unless and until it is not beaten or treated properly. So I always think like that. Otherwise, it's sanctuaries. There are very beautiful sanctuaries which I had also gone many places. They take care of animals very well. But when it comes to animals doing something for people, I always step back. That is what I feel, that people should ask questions. What you do for me, and what is the center? How the animals have been taken care.
So do you think that they should contact us if they're
Yes,
not sure?
they have to contact.
Ask questions, and if the center doesn't answer, you kind of have your
It's a ambiguity.
yeah.
We don't get answers properly.
Yeah.
Because people call me, they'll tell you have elephant ride, I don't know. Okay, then what do you have? I told you, we are just showing the elephants what they had been passed. They have been enjoying the life.
If all these animals were one voice, what do you think they would be saying to us humans?
Live and let live. Let us live. That is what they will say. Because actually, I had been rescuing like many bears, many elephants, every elephant, some of the other role I had played in rescuing elephants. What I feel is when they come here, when they see elephants, their whole mind change. And I had not seen any of the animal keeping grudges, even though it is the worstly tortured on the road. The animal came here, he had been behaved well here with the Mahavars, he's happy eating. We need to understand to coexist. It is not like that, it is only us. A farmer using pesticides in the farmland is not aware that because of the insects and butterflies he get more yield. They do pollination, they do but he think they are somebody destroying his crops. This is the awareness we have to do. So they can't speak, we have to speak for them sometimes.
We definitely do.
Yeah.
Explain what it is that we're actually looking at here.
Yeah, we had written here forgotten past. This is only for the elephants, that these kind of hooks, these are bull hooks. You'll not believe, with these sharp hooks, they pull them on the ear. Many of our elephants' ears have been torn away because of this, and they just hit on the head with this sharp hook. And this heavy chain, you can just imagine, this was on the leg of the elephant, Raju. And when we saw this, it was most of these spikes were inside his flesh. So it's very sad thing to see. And so once this is removed from them, it's always on the board for the display and for education purpose. They never have to wear this. So that is what we want to make sure that they are free from this completely.
So what's happening what is...
Every elephant in this center have an exercise walk in the morning and evening. So you can see on the background, the Mahavat is going to take them for a long walk. Evening is a little shorter walk, it is a little hot. And in the morning it is a long walk, around 10 kilometers they walk slowly. And the treat bag with the he is carrying, that is having some treats, so they walk with the treat. So every elephant here, every single elephant go for a walk. But it depends on the condition, they have to walk very slowly, they have foot injuries, they have many issues or medical treatment, medical ailment going on. So they go for a walk with these two elephants will be taken by that Mahavat, and after that the other group will go follow them. So every single elephant goes out for a walk.
And at night time, just to be clear, the elephants will be here on their own, without shackles.
No shackle.